welcome back to my channel. You are logged in at the right place and at the right time. First of all, before we begin this video, I am so happy to be back filming for you guys. It's been a long month and a bit, and yeah, I was just going through it, so I thought I'd talk about that because I know it's something that we all go through, but it's so hard at the time to be able to express it. So I figured now that I'm out of it, I can give you guys some pointers on what exactly it is and how you can heal and learn and grow and evolve. So yeah, let's get right into it. So every year around April, I always come to a standstill. The universe always kind of sits down with me and inspires me to reflect on a similar pattern that I clearly hadn't been learning. And this April, that happened exactly. And the lesson is always to be still and to appreciate and value everything around me, because naturally, especially in the industry that I work in, it's so fast paced where by the time I've completed a campaign or done an amazing job, it's already on to the next. And I was so busy from the whole of last year. I moved into my new apartment, which, by the way, I hope you guys like the new setup. So yeah, I moved into my apartment and I barely spent time here. I was always traveling, similar to 2017. So the last trip I did was Zimbabwe, and that was the first trip where I hadn't had any brand work to create, and it was just for me, and it felt so good. I created the best I ever have. I had fun. I was on my own time and my own terms, and I absolutely loved it. This year, at the beginning of the year, I went to a wedding, and on the countdown, I always do like a manifestation of like, goodbye 2018, I'm leaving you with this, and 2019, I'm welcoming you with this. So in 2019, the goal for me was to be able to create a form of stability, because traveling all the time means that I'm living out of a suitcase, I'm not eating properly, I'm always moving from one place to another, I'm not around a similar group of people, I'm always having to be on the go. So that, I had found stillness in that, and it wasn't healthy at all. So my goal this year was to be able to like live in my home and embrace London, which is something I've always struggled with, because London is a beautiful city, but it's always so gloomy. When it is a blue sky, it's literally like Christmas. So it's always quite hard for me to truly be my most vibrant and colourful self, as opposed to when I'm traveling, when it's sunny and I can dress how I want. I'm not really a winter girl, I'm a Gemini, so it's always hard for me in London to be a creative. But I had a reading, but I'll get to that in a second. So, where was I? I already lost my train of thought. Great. So I spoke about the fact that being at home, so yeah, stability and embracing London. So I had been doing that, and then something really beautiful happened in my life, and that was literally a moment of being still, because it made me live in the moment, and it's been a beautiful journey ever since. So I get to April now, and something just made me not feel as creative or enthusiastic as I usually am about my work, because I decided to overwork myself in January, February and March. And I had traveled to Dominican Republic and all of that, and then prior to that I had been creating on a tight schedule. Every Thursday and Sunday I'm going to make YouTube videos. Every Monday my assistant comes over and she would help me create. And then I have all these jobs going on from my agency, literally like 3 bookings a week. Then I've got events to go to, meetings to attend, a huge project I'm working on that I can't wait to tell you about. So it was literally like so much stuff at once that when I was going to create YouTube videos, it would reflect on me physically that I'm not as happy. And you guys know me so well. If I'm not happy, you guys are like, sis, you're going through something. Sis, you look a little bit tired. Sis, you need this. Like, I can't lie to you guys. And when I've tried, you guys read me to a T. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pause on YouTube, and it was breaking me because I love creating. I don't make YouTube videos for money or for numbers. I literally make it because I get to be creative. I get to just do what I want. There's no one's there's no one's opinion on me all the time. but I lost my sense of creativity. And then at the same time, I was being booked for so many jobs that required that level of creativity, but to someone else's brief. So it was a lot, like, for me mentally. I just felt so drained. I wanted to be still. And the things I found that helped me were sitting still, which was the hardest part. But once you're able to do that, you can listen to within and understand why it is you're not happy. So for me, mine was a sense of confusion with wanting to be on the go, but mentally being tired and not being able to, and also wanting to keep up with my lifestyle, wanting to look like I'm doing so much. And yeah, it was just like a little battle that I was having within. I then had a reading, and she spoke about how my career is me and I don't know how to detach myself from it. So it literally all made sense at that point, and I was like, I literally depend on my career for happiness within, to feel a sense of fulfillment, and it's something that I think about 24/7. So yeah, it was a lot. But sitting still with yourself isn't easy, and for those of you who may have a hard time doing it, I really suggest, like, you can even do it with your close loved ones, a journal, just sitting there listening to like some form of meditation music, and then asking yourself why after every point. So it could start off with, I'm not happy. Why? Because I didn't get the grades I wanted. Why? Because I didn't invest as much time into studying. Why? Because I was tired. Why? Because I wasn't giving myself enough time to prioritize eating well, studying, giving myself self-care. Why? And you literally keep going and going, and you end up with the root of the problem being because I don't feel like I'm good enough, because I'm under pressure, because I'm trying to impress my parents. And it's so hard to do because it's so hard to move the ego to the side for a second and get to the core and be truthful to yourself. But it's so good for you, because then you're no longer walking around saying, there's something on my shoulders. Honey, you know what it is, but you just don't want to admit it to yourself because you don't want to look weak. So I used to have a hard time doing that, but now I'm grown and I understand myself a lot more in comparison to the version of me yesterday. And yeah, it was really, really insightful for me to learn how to do it. But take your time with it, don't rush, you'll be just fine. So the next thing that I did was I began being strict on the things that I was absorbing on a daily. So that meant I was now limiting the amount of social media I was consuming, because naturally, if you're not happy in the space you're in, if you see other people in their own spaces thriving, you will become envious, and envy is a horrible sickness to have, in my opinion. So I wanted to just learn to be grateful for what I have, and envy comes from not being happy with what you have, because you're so fixated on everyone else besides yourself that you miss all of your blessings. And I don't know if you guys have seen that picture where it's like someone has like a house and he's envious of someone with a Bentley, and the Bentley person's envious with the person with the house because he has the family, and it's just like this big cyclical structure where everyone is just envious of each other instead of appreciating what they have, not realizing someone else is admiring what they have. So that was really, really important for me. I also curated playlists where the music didn't have words, and I found this playlist helped me so much. It's called Deep in Thought, I'll put the link in my bio, and literally it was so refreshing because the sounds, there's nature, like rainfall within it, just outdoor world, just someone saying a little quote or whatever. Like, I love listening to music. I think music is such an important way to heal, to express yourself, to release emotion, and if you choose the correct music, it will allow you to heal in whatever you're growing through. So yeah, I listened to that playlist often, and when I'd listen to it, it would allow me to kind of sit still with my thoughts, and that was so key. The next thing that I did, which you guys know I love doing, is journaling. I journal to my younger self every day, and I do this every day. So doing this during the time I was going through it didn't feel different because it's something that's within my routine, but it felt good to be able to express myself to something that won't judge me, that won't spill and tell someone else, something I can reflect on years to come and say, I remember when I went through this. Because being in a creative block, or being in it, or stuck, or just feeling vulnerable is such a sensitive time, because it's not acknowledged as much as like a physical illness. Like if I had a cold, a flu, or I was vomiting, then it would get more of like sympathy, like, are you okay, like, do you need help? But if I say I'm in a creative block, it's like, girl, you get out of it. So it was so hard to express to people around me like I'm in this creative block, because they're just like, oh, you'll be fine, like, don't worry. And I'm like, that's not what I want to hear right now. So it was a little bit hard for me to express it to other people, but my journal was my best friend, is my best friend through it. And yeah, shout out to my journal. If you don't like writing, you can always draw out your problems, you can always paint. There's so many different ways to express yourself, but I'm a writer, so that was my thing. Another thing that I also did to help kind of help me rather, was exercise. I began going on jogs every morning, and it allowed me to kind of reflect on my day, manifest what I wanted to achieve, whether it was something as small as getting the laundry done or replying to my emails. Don't be so hard on yourself whenever you're going through something. Be realistic, set expectations, and don't be upset even if you don't meet them. So for instance, one day my expectations of myself would be to get my emails done, and just getting that one thing done was a huge accomplishment. Whereas if I'd said emails, laundry, dishes, hair washed, social media, like, that's a lot to do in one day, even though I'm used to being busy. But instead doing the emails, then I'm like, oh yay, I did my emails, okay, cool. Is there anything else I can do? Do I have energy for that? Am I mentally open to doing this? And so on and so on. So just be realistic, don't be so hard on yourself, and just set that one goal or expectation of yourself to keep you motivated and going throughout the day. The next thing that I did was I invested a lot into like my health. So aside from exercise, cooking home cooked meals, drinking a lot of water. If you feed your body within, it will reflect on the outside. And it's so easy to eat unhealthily when you're going through something, because there's a comfort in food. So I definitely stuck to the healthy side of things. It gave me energy, it allowed my skin to be glowing, which then inspires you to want to glow too with it. So definitely the diet. So the next thing that I did was something I love doing, and that is cleaning. It wasn't just like sweeping and wiping surfaces, but actually going through my closet and decluttering things that no longer serve me anymore, donating, which then makes you feel good because you know you're helping other people. I also decluttered like my home. As you guys can tell, I have a whole new layout, which I love, and having that sense of new was great to inspire me to see my home differently. I also just switched up like the pictures in my photo frames and just gave my home like a sense of new and positive energy, which was great. So I'll definitely say cleaning is really good for you to just throw away things. And cleaning is also really, really good for your mental health, because you physically see the progress of something. Whereas when you're trying to clean yourself on the inside, whether that's like therapy or like journaling, for instance, you don't really see the changes it has on you internally because you can't see that. But with cleaning, if you have a messy home, you can see the start when it was so messy to the end where it's so clean and you feel so much more light and refreshed. So I find cleaning is really, really good to just unwind, let out any emotions, even talk to yourself when you're like, you're folding clothes and you're like, yeah, I know, like, I just need to do better, and I need to just be realistic. And you just find yourself like immersed in it, and I just think it's the best thing to do, like, ever. So the last two things that I did to help me get out of my funk was forgiving myself. And like I said about April, it comes around every year, and it always teaches me to sit still, reflect, see what's next, And so I forgave myself for things that I was holding on to, forgave other people, even without hearing an apology. And that can be quite hard, but I would say writing it down is a great way of releasing it. So forgiving yourself for not getting the grades you wanted, forgiving yourself for not traveling like you'd aspired to, forgiving yourself for allowing certain energy in your life. And then that leads me to the last one, and that is letting go. Letting go of all of those things that we do hold on to, that we take with us all the time. The song alone, Bag Lady by Erykah Badu, is everything. Bag lady, you're gonna hurt your back, dragging all your bags like that. It's such a key metaphor for me, as I want to move through life freely. I want to feel free, be free, and I can only do that if I let go of the things that I keep holding on to, trying to fix, that are broken, or holding on to memories and the person. There's a huge difference between memories and a person. You can keep the memories, but holding on to the person, you have no possession over anyone in this lifetime. So let it go. I know you guys are probably looking at me like, that is a lot of stuff to do to get out of it, sis. Like, I don't have time. But I didn't do all this stuff in one day. This was over a period of 1.5 months. And this is also a huge message that self-care comes in all kinds of forms, and self-care is different for whatever you're going through. If I was going through something physically, which at one point I was trying different makeup, and my skin broke out to a foundation that I loved so much because the pigmentation of it was amazing, but I was breaking out and I felt down about it. So with that one, I had to do more face masks and skincare and all that good stuff, facials. But for everything else, it was all internal, and you can't work on the internal if you're only focusing on the external. So yeah, just to show you guys, healing is different for everyone, different depending on what you're going through. Once you learn your routine, then you'll be good, and even then your routine might not work. So it's a hard journey, but that's why I always say self-love is a journey and not a destination. So keep evolving throughout that journey and allow yourself to grow and heal and love, and most importantly, have fun in every aspect of your life. I hope this video helped you guys. I am back, okay, and I'm so excited to make new videos for you guys. I'm actually going to scrap all the videos I had planned and just go with whatever I feel. But if you have any requests, please do comment below. I hope you guys like the new vibe that we have going on, and yes, my hair has grown since the last time I filmed for you guys. It's crazy, I know, but thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye guys.